Welcome to our CompTIA A Core 22011-01 exam prep series. In this video, we're diving into the first set of 50 practice questions covering mobile devices, networking, hardware, virtualization, cloud computing, hardware, and network troubleshooting. This practice test mirrors the actual exam, which has up to 90 questions, 90 minutes to complete, and requires a passing score of 675 on a scale from 100 to 900. The exam focuses on skills equivalent to 12 months of experience in help desk, desktop support, or field service roles. Hardware and network troubleshooting is the largest domain at 29%, with networking at 20%, hardware at 25%, mobile devices at 15%, and virtualization and cloud computing at 11%. We'll guide you through each question and provide detailed explanations to solidify your understanding. Let's get started. The first question is about a scenario where, as an IT support specialist, you receive a call from an employee who is having trouble connecting their computer to the company network. What would be your initial step in troubleshooting this issue? A. Run the ipconfig/all command on the employee's computer. B. Use the ping command to check if the router is reachable from the employee's computer. C. Inspect the physical network cable connecting the employee's computer to the network. D. Verify if the network drivers on the employee's computer are up to date and functioning correctly. The optimal choice is C. Inspect the physical network cable. It's always best to start with the basics when troubleshooting network issues, and that includes checking physical connections. If there's a problem with the cable or its connection, it could be the root of the issue. A. Run the ipconfig/all command. This command is useful for checking the network configuration of the computer, but it's not the first step in troubleshooting. B. Use the ping command. The ping command can help determine network communication, but again, it's not the initial step. D. Verify network drivers. Checking network drivers is important, but this is usually done after ensuring physical connections and basic network settings are correct. 2. Imagine you're working in an office and you notice that the printer has a paper jam. What is the first action you should take to resolve this issue? A. Change the printer's status to offline. B. Clear all pending print jobs from the print queue. C. Open all accessible doors and compartments of the printer. D. Power off the printer. The best choice is D. Power off the printer. Before attempting to clear a paper jam, it's crucial to power off the printer first. This is to ensure safety and prevent any further damage to the printer. A. Change the printer's status to offline. This action prevents new print jobs from starting, but it doesn't address the current paper jam. B. Clear all pending print jobs from the print queue. This action can prevent further jams, but it doesn't resolve the current issue. C. Open all accessible doors and compartments of the printer. This is typically done after powering off the printer to safely remove the jammed paper. 3. Picture this. You're a tech support specialist and a user comes to you with their smartphone, saying they can't see anything on the screen. What's the first step you would take in your troubleshooting process? A. Start disassembling the device for a thorough internal check. B. Look into the volume mixer sliders on the device. C. Check the screen brightness settings to ensure they're not set too low. D. Begin the process of calibrating the screen. The best choice is C. Check the screen brightness settings to ensure they are not set too low. When a user can't see anything on their smartphone screen, the first step is to check the screen brightness settings. It's possible that the brightness is set too low, making the screen appear blank. A. Start disassembling the device for a thorough internal check. This is a drastic step and should only be considered after simpler troubleshooting steps have been exhausted. B. Look into the volume mixer sliders on the device. This is related to audio settings, not screen visibility. D. Begin the process of calibrating the screen. Screen calibration is a more advanced troubleshooting step and is not typically the first step taken when a user can't see anything on their screen. Four. You're an IT support specialist assisting a project manager with a presentation. The setup involves a laptop connected to a projector. During your preliminary tests, you notice the projector's display starts to flicker while the laptop's display remains stable. You've tried adjusting the laptop's resolution, but the flickering persists. What would be your next step in troubleshooting this issue? A. Adjust the settings on the projector. B. Inspect the video cable connecting the laptop and the projector for any connectivity issues. C. Modify the aspect ratio settings on the laptop. D. Check the power cable of the projector for any connectivity problems. The best choice is B. Inspect the video cable connecting the laptop and the projector for any connectivity issues. Flickering on the projector's display could be due to a loose or faulty video cable. It's important to check the cable for any physical damage or loose connections as your next step. Now, let's briefly touch on the other options. A. Adjust the settings on the projector. While this could potentially solve the issue, it's not the immediate next step. After adjusting the laptop's resolution, physical connections should be checked first. C. Modify the aspect ratio settings on the laptop. This is unlikely to solve a flickering issue, as aspect ratio settings affect the shape and size of the display, not its stability. D. Check the power cable of the projector for any connectivity problems. While a faulty power cable could cause issues, it's less likely to cause flickering on the display. The video cable is the more likely culprit. 5. Imagine you are a computer technician, and you start hearing loud clicking or grinding noises coming from a client's SATA magnetic disk drive. What would be your immediate first step in addressing this issue? Choose the best answer. A. Immediately start transferring the data to a different drive to prevent potential data loss. B. Replace the noisy SATA drive with a new one. C. Update the UEFI BIOS of the system. D. Replace the SATA power cable connected to the disk drive. The best choice is A. Immediately start transferring the data to a different drive to prevent potential data loss. Loud clicking or grinding noises from a hard drive can be a sign of imminent failure. It's crucial to immediately start backing up data to prevent potential data loss. B. Replace the noisy SATA drive with a new one. While this might eventually be necessary, the immediate concern should be to prevent data loss. C. Update the UEFI BIOS of the system. This wouldn't address the issue of a potentially failing hard drive. D. Replace the SATA power cable connected to the disk drive. This wouldn't solve the problem if the drive itself is making noises. Six. A computer technician is evaluating the performance of storage drives. Which two of the following are measurements that specifically gauge the data transfer capabilities of these drives every second? A. WMIC, B. MBS, C. RAID, D. IOPs. The two measurements that specifically gauge the data transfer capabilities of storage drives every second are B. MBS and D. IOPS. B. MBS, megabytes per second. This is a standard unit of data transfer rate, which measures the amount of data in megabytes that can be transferred per second. It's commonly used to evaluate the performance of storage devices, including hard drives, SSDs, and network connections. D. IOPs, input-output operations per second. This is another key performance indicator for storage devices. It measures the maximum number of reads and writes to non-contiguous storage locations. A higher IOPS value means the device can handle a higher number of simultaneous read-write requests, which generally results in better overall performance. A WMake Windows Management Instrumentation command. This is a command line tool used for managing and controlling system resources in Windows. It's not a measurement of data transfer capabilities. C. RAID, redundant array of independent disks. This is a technology that combines multiple physical disk drive components into a single logical unit for data redundancy, performance improvement, or both. It's not a measurement of data transfer capabilities. Seven. You're a technician and you've been given a laser printer maintenance kit. Which of the following items would you typically expect to find in the kit? A. Rollers, B. Image drum, C. Toner, D. Duplexer. The correct choice is A. Rollers. Rollers, including pickup rollers, separation rollers, and transfer rollers, are commonly found in laser printer maintenance kits. They are crucial for properly feeding paper into the printer and ensuring that the toner is effectively transferred to the paper. Over time, these rollers can wear down or become dirty, leading to paper jams or poor print quality, which is why they are included in maintenance kits. B. Image drum. The image drum, also known as a photoreceptor drum, is a key component of a laser printer that creates the image to be printed. While it is a critical part of the printer's imaging system, it is not typically included in a standard maintenance kit because it has a longer lifespan than the items usually found in these kits. However, it may need to be replaced separately after extensive use. C. Toner. Toner is the powder used by laser printers to form the text and images on paper. While toner needs to be replaced regularly, it is not included in maintenance kits. Toner cartridges are purchased separately as consumable supplies, not as part of routine maintenance. D. Duplexer. A duplexer allows for automatic double-sided printing. It is not a consumable item and does not wear out in the same manner as rollers or require regular replacement. Therefore, it is not included in maintenance kits. Duplexers are more about printer functionality and are typically only replaced if they malfunction. 8. You're an IT technician tasked with disassembling a mobile device for repair. Which of the following actions should you avoid during this process? A. Keeping a record of every step and component you encounter. B. Referring to the device's manuals for guidance. C. Following anti-static procedures to prevent electrostatic discharge. D. Utilizing screwdrivers with magnetic tips. The action you should avoid is D. Utilizing screwdrivers with magnetic tips. While magnetic screwdrivers can be handy for keeping track of small screws, they can potentially cause damage when used on electronic devices. The magnetism can interfere with the device's magnetic fields or even erase data on magnetic storage. A. Keeping a record of every step and component you encounter. This is a good practice as it helps ensure the device is reassembled correctly. B. Referring to the device's manuals for guidance. Manuals often provide valuable information about the device's components and how to safely disassemble and reassemble the device. C. Following anti-static procedures to prevent electrostatic discharge. This is crucial as static electricity can damage sensitive electronic components. Nine. Suppose you're an IT specialist and a client brings in a basic computer with a malfunctioning onboard DVI connector. What would be your first course of action to address this issue? A. Swap out the motherboard. B. Repair or replace the faulty DVI connector. C. Install a video card. D. Try using an adapter. The best choice is C. Install a video card. If the onboard DVI connector is malfunctioning, installing a separate video card can provide an alternative video output. This is a cost-effective solution that doesn't require replacing or repairing the motherboard. A. Swap out the motherboard. This is a drastic and potentially expensive measure that should only be considered if all other options have been exhausted. B. Repair or replace the faulty DVI connector. This could be difficult or impossible if the DVI connector is integrated into the motherboard. D. Try using an adapter. This might not solve the problem if the DVI connector itself is malfunctioning. 10. You're working as an IT technician and you encounter a PC that's rebooting unexpectedly. After ruling out the possibility of viruses, you inspect the motherboard and notice several capacitors that are swollen and misshapen. What would be your recommended course of action in this situation? A. Replace the entire motherboard. B. Swap out the hard drive. C. Remove the faulty capacitors and install new ones. D. Adjust the settings in the BIOS. The best choice is A. Replace the entire motherboard. Swollen or misshapen capacitors are a sign of a failing motherboard. Attempting to replace individual capacitors can be challenging and time-consuming, and there's no guarantee that other components haven't been affected. Therefore, replacing the entire motherboard is usually the most effective solution. B. Swap out the hard drive. This wouldn't address the issue of faulty capacitors on the motherboard. C. Remove the faulty capacitors and install new ones. While theoretically possible, this requires specialized skills and equipment, and it's not guaranteed to fix all potential issues caused by the failing capacitors. D. Adjust the settings in the BIOS. This wouldn't solve a hardware problem like failing capacitors. (11) A technician has established a plan of action to resolve a problem that affects several users. What should the tech do before implementing any changes? A. Refer to the vendor's instructions for guidance. B. Ask about environmental or infrastructure changes. C. Perform backups. D. Consider corporate policies, procedures, and impacts. The best choice is D. Consider corporate policies, procedures, and impacts. Before implementing any changes, it's crucial to consider the potential impacts on the organization and ensure that the proposed actions align with corporate policies and procedures. This helps to prevent unintended consequences and ensures that the solution is appropriate for the business context. A. Refer to the vendor's instructions for guidance. While this can be helpful, it's not the immediate first step before implementing changes. It's more relevant when dealing with specific hardware or software issues. B. Ask about environmental or infrastructure changes. This could be relevant in some cases, but it's not the immediate first step before implementing changes. C. Perform backups. While it's always a good idea to have recent backups, this is not the immediate first step before implementing changes. It's more relevant when the changes involve data or systems that could potentially be lost or damaged. 12. A user reports the cursor jumps around erratically while typing. Which of the following devices should the technician check first? A. Keyboard. B. Hard drive. C. Touchpad. D. Display. The technician should check the C. Touchpad first. Erratic cursor movement while typing is often caused by accidental contact with the touchpad. This is especially common on laptops where the touchpad is located just below the keyboard, making it easy to accidentally brush against it while typing. A. Keyboard. While a malfunctioning keyboard can cause typing issues, it wouldn't typically cause the cursor to move erratically. B. Hard drive. The hard drive is responsible for storing and retrieving data. It wouldn't have an impact on the cursor's movement. D. Display. While a faulty display can cause visual issues, it wouldn't cause the cursor to move erratically during typing. 13. Which of the following ports uses TCP and is used for email access? A. 80, B. 443, C. 23, D. 110. The correct answer is D. 110. Port 110 is used for receiving emails through the Post Office Protocol version 3, POP3, which is a standard mail protocol used to receive emails from a remote server to a local email client. POP3 is a simple, standardized method of delivering email messages. A POP3 mail server receives emails and filters them into the appropriate user folders. When a user connects to the mail server to retrieve his mail, the messages are downloaded from mail server to the user's hard disk. A. 80. This port is used for HTTP, Hypertext Transfer Protocol, the primary protocol for transmitting information on the web, not for email access. B. 443. This port is used for HTTPS, HTTP Secure, which is the secure version of HTTP, not for email access. C. 23. This port is used for Telnet, a protocol that allows you to connect to remote computers, not for email access. 14. What is the main advantage of using a Unified Threat Management UTM system? A. It allows users to access and share files from any location. B. It provides security for a network. C. It simplifies the process of managing network security. D. It reduces the risk of security breaches or other security incidents. The main advantage of using a Unified Threat Management UTM system is C. It simplifies the process of managing network security. A UTM system consolidates multiple security functions into a single device, which simplifies the task of managing and maintaining network security. This can lead to improved efficiency and potentially lower costs. A. It allows users to access and share files from any location. While a UTM system can include VPN capabilities, its primary purpose is not to facilitate file sharing or remote access. B. It provides security for a network. While this is true, it's not the main advantage. The key benefit of a UTM is the consolidation of multiple security functions into one system, simplifying management. D. It reduces the risk of security breaches or other security incidents. While a UTM system can help reduce security risks, the main advantage is the simplification of security management. 15. Users in a small office environment need to share data securely on the internal company network. Which of the following protocols should a technician recommend to best meet this requirement? A. SNMP, B. SFTP, C. DNS, D. DHCP. The best protocol for securely sharing data on an internal company network is B. SFTP, Secure File Transfer Protocol. SFTP is a protocol that provides file access, file transfer, and file management functionalities over any reliable data stream. It is particularly suited for secure file transfer over insecure networks like the Internet. A. SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol. This is used for managing devices on IP networks, not for secure file transfer. C. DNS, Domain Name System. This is used for translating domain names to IP addresses, not for secure file transfer. D. DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. This is used for assigning IP addresses to devices on a network, not for secure file transfer. 16. A technician needs to configure a SOHO wireless router to provide a separate SSID for guest users. Which of the following features should the technician configure on the wireless router? A. Port forwarding, B. Firmware update, C. WPA2 passphrase, D. VLAN. The correct answer is D. VLAN. A virtual local area network, VLAN, allows a physical network to be partitioned into multiple logical networks. In the context of a wireless router, configuring a VLAN can help create a separate network segment for guest users. This separate network, with its own SSID, can provide guest users with internet access while isolating them from the main network, enhancing security. A. Port forwarding. This is used to direct incoming traffic to a specific internal IP address, not for creating a separate network for guests. B. Firmware update. While keeping router firmware up to date is important for security and performance, it's not directly related to setting up a separate network for guests. C. WPA2 passphrase. This is a type of network security used to protect the wireless network. While it's important, it's not specifically used to create a separate network for guests. 17. John has an iPad and a Windows PC. He wants to be able to access and edit his contacts seamlessly on both devices. Which of the following applications would allow John to sync his iPad contacts to his PC? A. iTunes. B. Gmail. C. Sync Center. D. Google Play. The correct answer is A. iTunes. iTunes is a software developed by Apple that allows users to sync data between their Apple devices and their PC. By using iTunes, John can sync his iPad contacts to his PC and manage them seamlessly. B. Gmail. While Gmail can be used to sync contacts between devices, it's primarily an email service, not a device synchronization tool. C. Sync Center. This is a feature in Windows that lets you sync files between your computer and network folders, not for syncing contacts between devices. D. Google Play. This is an online store for downloading apps, games, music, movies, and books. It doesn't provide a service for syncing contacts between devices. (18) John is setting up a home media room and wants the ability to stream movies and TV shows from online services like Netflix and Hulu. He has a smart TV, media streaming box, and laptop that he plans to use for watching streaming content. Which of the following protocols would work best for streaming this type of media content across John's home network? A. DHCP. B. UDP. C. RDP. D. TCP. The best protocol for streaming media content across John's home network is B. UDP. User Datagram Protocol, UDP, is often used for streaming media because it offers speed advantages over TCP. While TCP ensures delivery of all packets but can cause delays due to its error checking mechanisms, UDP prioritizes speed over reliability, which is generally more important for streaming media. A. DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol. This protocol is used for assigning IP addresses in a network, not for streaming media. C. RDP, Remote Desktop Protocol. This protocol is used for remote desktop connections, not for streaming media. D. TCP, Transmission Control Protocol. While TCP is a reliable protocol, its error checking mechanisms can cause delays, making it less ideal for streaming media. (19) Which networking component is responsible for determining the most efficient path for data packets to travel across a network? A. Router. B. Switch. C. Hub. D. Modem. The correct answer is A. Router. A router is a networking device that forwards data packets between computer networks. Routers perform the traffic directing functions on the internet. A data packet is typically forwarded from one router to another through the networks that constitute the internetwork until it reaches its destination node. B. Switch. A network switch is a networking hardware that connects devices on a computer network by using packet switching to receive and forward data to the destination device. C. Hub. A network hub is a networking device that connects multiple Ethernet devices together and makes them act as a single network segment. D. Modem. A modem is a device that modulates an analog carrier signal to encode digital information, and also demodulates such a carrier signal to decode the transmitted information. 20. Sarah has a desktop computer that she uses for work. Lately, she has noticed that her internet connection seems to sporadically cut in and out. When it happens, none of her online applications can access the network at all. However, after a few minutes, the connection returns to normal before later dropping again. What networking issue is most likely causing Sarah's internet connectivity to her desktop to repeatedly change between working and not working? A. Port flapping. B. Network congestion. C. Jitter. D. High latency. The most likely cause of Sarah's internet connectivity issue is A. Port flapping. Port flapping occurs when a port on a network device, such as a switch or a router, continuously goes up and down. If Sarah's computer is connected to a port that is flapping, it would cause her internet connection to repeatedly drop and then re-establish, matching the symptoms she's experiencing. B. Network congestion. While this can cause slow internet speeds, it typically doesn't cause the connection to drop completely. C. Jitter. This refers to variations in latency in a network, but it doesn't typically cause the connection to drop completely. D. High latency. This refers to delays in data transmission, but like network congestion and jitter, it doesn't typically cause the connection to drop completely. 21. A company needs to implement a network access policy for buyout clients. Which component helps enforce this? A. Switch. B. Router. C. Gateway. D. Firewall. The correct answer is D. Firewall. A firewall is a network security device that monitors and filters incoming and outgoing network traffic based on an organization's previously established security policies. At its most basic, a firewall is essentially the barrier that sits between a private internal network and the public internet. A. Switch. A network switch is a networking hardware that connects devices on a computer network by using packet switching to receive and forward data to the destination device. B. Router. A router is a networking device that forwards data packets between computer networks. Routers perform the traffic directing functions on the internet. C. Gateway. A gateway is a hardware device that acts as a gate between two networks. It may be a router, firewall, server, or other device that enables traffic to flow in and out of the network. While all these components play important roles in a network, when it comes to enforcing a network access policy for BYOD, bring your own device clients, a firewall is the most relevant. 22. A manufacturing company needs to monitor PLCs and sensors on the factory floor. Data from this equipment must be gathered centrally. Which system should be deployed? A. Radius. B. SCADA. C. SAN. D. IPS. The correct answer is B. SCADA. Supervisory Control and Data Acquisition, SCADA, is a system of software and hardware elements that allows industrial organizations to control industrial processes locally or at remote locations, monitor, gather, and process real-time data, directly interact with devices such as sensors, valves, pumps, motors, and more through human-machine interface, HMI software, and record events into a log file. A. Radius, Remote Authentication Dial-In User Service. This is a networking protocol that provides centralized authentication, authorization, and accounting, AAA management, for users who connect and use a network service. C. SAN, Storage Area Network. This is a network that provides access to consolidated block-level data storage. D. IPS, Intrusion Prevention System. This is a system used in the identification of malicious activities, log information about this activity, attempt to stop it, and report it. 23. A company is migrating physical servers to a cloud environment. Which technology enables this? A. SDN, B. IDS, C. NetBIOS, D. VLAN. The technology that enables a company to migrate physical servers to a cloud environment is A. SDN. Software-defined networking, SDN, is an approach to network management that allows dynamic, programmatically efficient network configuration in order to improve network performance and monitoring. SDN is intended to address the fact that the static architecture of traditional networks is decentralized and complex, while current networks require more flexibility and easy troubleshooting. SDN suggests to centralize network intelligence in one network component by disassociating the forwarding process of network packets, data plane, from the routing process, control plane. The control plane consists of one or more controllers, which are considered as the brain of SDN network, where the whole intelligence is incorporated. However, the intelligence centralization has its own drawbacks when it comes to security, scalability, and elasticity, and this is the main issue of SDN. B. IDS, Intrusion Detection System. This is a device or software application that monitors a network or systems for malicious activity or policy violations. C. NetBIOS, Network Basic Input-Output System. This provides services related to the session layer of the OSI model, allowing applications on separate computers to communicate over a local area network. D. VLAN, Virtual Local Area Network. This is any broadcast domain that is partitioned and isolated in a computer network at the data link layer. (24) A technician is troubleshooting a network issue related to DNS resolution. Which port should be checked for DNS query and response messages? A. TCP53, B. UDP53, C. TCP80, D. UDP67. The primary port used by DNS for query and response messages is B, UDP53. While DNS can use both TCP and UDP, it primarily uses UDP for its queries due to its lower overhead compared to TCP. TCP is typically used for zone transfers or when the response data size exceeds the UDP packet size. Therefore, in the context of this question, B, UDP53 is the correct answer. 25. A bank needs to authenticate employees connecting remotely to internal systems. Which server helps validate user identities? A. Print server, B. Directory server, C. Syslog server, D. SAN. The best choice is a directory server which validates user identities. Now let's briefly touch on the other options. A print server connects printers to computers over a network. A syslog server collects and manages syslog messages from various sources. Lastly, a SAN, or storage area network, is a high-speed network that makes storage devices accessible to servers. Each server has its role, but for authenticating users, a directory server is the best fit. (26) A company wants to implement central authentication using LDAP. Which TCP port should be open on the LDAP server? A. 389, B. 443, C. 3389, D. 8080. The TCP port that should be open on the LDAP server for central authentication is A. 389. LDAP, Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, primarily uses TCP and UDP port 389 for its operations. B. TCP 443 is used for HTTPS, the secure version of HTTP. It provides an encryption algorithm for exchanging information between web servers and browsers. C. TCP 3389 is used by the Remote Desktop Protocol, RDP, for remote desktop connections to other computers. D. TCP 8080 is often used for HTTP traffic, especially on older HTTP servers and web proxies. It's not used for LDAP authentication. 27. A hospital is implementing asset tracking using RFID tags. What frequency are UHF RFID systems typically deployed in? A. 128 Ks, B. 13.56 MHz, C. 850 to 960 MHz, D. 2.4 GHz. UHF RFID systems are typically deployed in the frequency C. 850 to 960 MHz. A. 128 Ks. This frequency is used by low-frequency LF RFID systems, often for applications like animal tracking. B. 13.56 MHz. This is the frequency used by high-frequency HF RFID systems, commonly used in applications such as library management and inventory tracking. D. 2.4 GHz. This frequency is used by microwave frequency RFID systems, offering the fastest data transfer rates and can handle large amounts of data. 28. An administrator needs to be alerted via email when log events occur for account lockouts. Which server should be configured to enable this? A. syslog, B. SAN, C. NAS, D. LDAP. The best choice is A. syslog. Syslog is a standard for message logging, allowing for separation between the software that generates messages, the system that stores them, and the software that reports and analyzes them. It can be configured to send alerts for specific events, such as account lockouts. B. SAN, storage area network, and C. NAS, network attached storage, are both used for storage solutions, not for event logging or alerting. D. LDAP, Lightweight Directory Access Protocol, is used for accessing and maintaining distributed directory information services, not for event logging or alerting. 29. A user's laptop shows an IP address of 169.254.123.211. What process assigned this address? A. DHCP, B. Static IP, C. APIPA, D. DNS. The best choice is C. APIPA. APIPA, or Automatic Private IP Addressing, is a feature of Windows-based operating systems, though the concept exists in other systems as well, and is used when no DHCP server is available. When the system is set to obtain an IP automatically, and it can't find a DHCP server, it assigns itself an IP address in the range of 169.254.0.1 to 169.254.255.254. A. DHCP, Dynamic Host Configuration Protocol, is a protocol that automatically provides an Internet Protocol IP host with its IP address and other related configuration information, such as the subnet mask and default gateway. B. Static IP is an IP address manually assigned to a device by an administrator. D. DNS, Domain Name System, is a service that translates domain names into IP addresses. It doesn't assign IP addresses to hosts. 30. An organization's firewall is unable to keep up with increased traffic, leading to slow network performance. Which appliance could help optimize this? A. IDS, B. Load balancer, C. CM, D. Reverse proxy. The best choice is B. Load balancer. A load balancer can help optimize network performance by distributing network traffic across multiple servers, preventing any single server from becoming a bottleneck, and thus improving the responsiveness and availability of applications. A. IDS, Intrusion Detection System, is used for detecting malicious activities in a network, not for managing traffic. C. CM, Security Information and Event Management, is used for real-time analysis of security alerts, not for managing traffic. D. A reverse proxy can help distribute traffic, but it's typically used for web servers and not specifically designed to optimize network performance like a load balancer. 31. For a customer who needs to print high-quality graphics and presentations, which printer driver is the most suitable option? A. PCL, B. ADF, C. SMB, D. PostScript. The best choice is D. PostScript. PostScript is a printer language that is especially effective for high-quality graphics and presentations. It's widely used in the publishing industry due to its precise control over complex page layouts. A. PCL, printer command language, is another printer language, but it's less sophisticated than PostScript when it comes to graphics. B. ADF, automatic document feeder, is a feature of a printer, not a printer driver. C. SMB, server message block, is a network protocol for sharing access to files, printers, and other resources, not a printer driver. Therefore, for high-quality graphics and presentations, PostScript is the most suitable option. 32. Mark is on a road trip, and his cell phone struggles to maintain a signal. What feature needs an update to ensure proper connection to cellular towers while moving? A. Universal Serial Bus. B. Near-Field Communication. C. Global Positioning System. D. Preferred Roaming List. The best choice is D. Preferred Roaming List. The Preferred Roaming List, PRL, is a database residing in a wireless, primarily CDMA device, such as a cell phone, that contains information used during the system selection and acquisition process. In the context of wireless data solutions, the PRL is a list of service providers that your device can connect to while roaming. Updating the PRL can improve the cell phone's ability to connect with the nearest cell tower. A. Universal Serial Bus, USB, is a standard for connection interfaces, not related to cellular connections. B. Near-Field Communication, NFC, is a set of communication protocols for communication between two electronic devices over a distance of 4 centimeters or less, not related to cellular connections. C. Global Positioning System, GPS, is a navigation system that provides geolocation and time information to a GPS receiver anywhere on or near the Earth, not directly related to cellular connections. 33. You're performing regular maintenance on your printer to ensure smooth operation. Which of the following should be reset as part of this routine? A. Page count. B. Job queue. C. Print job cache. D. Tray settings. The best choice is A. Page count. The page count is a counter that keeps track of the number of pages a printer has printed. Resetting it during regular maintenance can help you keep track of the number of pages printed since the last maintenance cycle. B. Job queue is a list of print jobs that are waiting to be processed. Resetting it would cancel all pending print jobs, which is not typically part of regular maintenance. C. Print job cache is used to store print jobs for faster processing. Resetting it could disrupt ongoing print jobs and is not typically part of regular maintenance. D. Tray settings determine the paper size, type, and the source for the printer. Resetting them could disrupt the printer's operation and is not typically part of regular maintenance. 34. Your organization has paid access to virtually unlimited cloud resources but pays only for the resources that are used. What is this called? A. Rapid elasticity. B. Community cloud. C. Metered services. D. High availability. The best choice is C, metered services. Metered services is a cloud computing payment model where the customer only pays for the resources they use, much like utilities in the physical world. A, rapid elasticity refers to the ability of cloud systems to quickly scale up or down based on demand. B, community cloud refers to a cloud infrastructure shared by several organizations with common concerns. D, high availability refers to systems that are designed to be available a high percentage of the time, often through redundancy and failover capabilities. 35. A user reports that their smartphone battery drains much faster than usual. They also notice that the device feels hot, even when not in use. Which of the following is the most likely cause of these issues? A, the device is infected with malware. B, the device's screen brightness is set too high. C, the device is in a weak signal area. D, the device's Bluetooth is left on. The best choice is A. The device is infected with malware. Malware can cause a smartphone to drain its battery faster than usual and heat up even when not in use because it can run processes in the background without the user's knowledge. B. While a high screen brightness can drain the battery faster, it wouldn't typically cause the device to heat up when not in use. C. Being in a weak signal area can cause a device to use more power as it tries to connect to a network, but this wouldn't typically cause the device to heat up when not in use. D. While leaving Bluetooth on can drain the battery faster, it wouldn't typically cause the device to heat up when not in use. 36. Imagine you're in the middle of printing an important document when suddenly your printer experiences a paper jam. What's the first action you should take to resolve this issue? A. Disconnect the printer from the network. B. Erase all pending print jobs. C. Unlatch all the printer doors. D. Power down the printer. The best choice is D. Power down the printer. Powering down the printer is the safest first step when dealing with a paper jam. It helps prevent any further damage to the printer and makes it safer for you to remove the jammed paper. A. Disconnecting the printer from the network won't help resolve a paper jam. B. Erasing all pending print jobs might stop further jams if the problem is with a specific print job, but it won't help with a jam that's already occurred. C. Unlatching all the printer doors can make it easier to access the jam, but you should power down the printer first to ensure safety. 37. A client with limited IT knowledge calls your tech support line regarding their 3D printing issues. They've been using various file formats for their designs, but their prints keep failing. Considering best practices for troubleshooting compatibility issues, which file format would you first recommend the client use for optimal 3D printing success? A. JPG, B. PNG, C. STL, D. PDF. The best choice is C. STL. STL, stereolithography, is the most widely used file format in 3D printing. It describes the surface geometry of a 3D object without any representation of color, texture, or other common CAD model attributes. It's the standard file format for most 3D printers, making it the most compatible and often the most successful for 3D printing. A. JPG and B. PNG are image file formats and are not suitable for 3D printing. D. PDF files are typically used for 2D document sharing and are not commonly used in 3D printing. Therefore, for optimal 3D printing success, STL is the most suitable option. 38. Imagine you are an intern at a vintage computer museum. One of the exhibits is a functioning impact printer, which visitors can use to print out their own retro-style documents. One day the printer stops working and you realize it's out of ink. What type of ink should you order to get the printer up and running again? A. Inkjet ink. B. Laser toner, C. Thermal ink, D. Ribbon ink. The best choice is D. Ribbon ink. Impact printers, such as dot matrix printers, use ribbon ink. The print head strikes the inked ribbon and presses it against the paper to form characters or images. A. Inkjet ink is used in inkjet printers, which spray tiny droplets of ink onto the paper. B. Laser toner is used in laser printers, which use static electricity and heat to bond toner powder to the paper. C. Thermal ink is used in thermal printers, which use heat to produce an image on the paper. 39. Your organization is implementing fiber optic services. Which device acts as a demarcation point for these services? A. SDN, B. ONTC patch panel, D. NIC. The best choice is B. ONT. An optical network terminal, ONT, is a device that acts as the demarcation point for fiber optic services. It's typically installed at the customer's premises and converts the optical signal received through the fiber optic cable into electrical signals that can be used by residential or commercial equipment. A. SDN, software-defined networking, is a network architecture approach, not a device. C. A patch panel is used to manage and organize network cables, not specifically for fiber optic services. D. NIC, network interface card, is a hardware component that allows computers to connect to a network, not specifically for fiber optic services. (40) You're a tech support specialist. A customer, Alex, calls you because his printer isn't responding when he tries to print. What's your first troubleshooting step? A. Check the printer's connection. B. Update the printer driver. C. Restart the computer. D. Check for paper jam. The best choice is A. Check the printer's connection. The first step in troubleshooting a non-responsive printer should be to check the printer's connection. This includes ensuring that the printer is properly connected to the power source and to the computer or network. B. Updating the printer driver could resolve the issue if the problem is software related. But it's not the first step you should take. C. Restarting the computer can help resolve a variety of issues. But again, it's not the first step in this case. D. Checking for a paper jam is important if the printer is physically unable to print. But if the printer is not responding at all, the first step should be to check the connections. 41. As a network security officer of your organization, you decide to perform packet sniffing on your switch by using Wireshark. Which of the following tools will help you to do this? A. Tone and probe kit. B. Network tap. C. Wireless analyzer. D. Loopback plug. The best choice is B. Network tap. A network tap is a hardware device which provides a way to access the data flowing across a computer network. In many cases, it is desirable for a third party to monitor the traffic between 2 points in the network. If the network between point A and point B consists of a physical cable, a network tap might be the best way to accomplish this monitoring. A. A tone and probe kit is used for tracing wires. C. A wireless analyzer is used for capturing and analyzing wireless network traffic. D. A loopback plug is used for testing the network interface card, NIC, on a device. 42. You are a technician at a busy airport where thermal printers are used to print boarding passes. Recently, passengers have been complaining about the poor legibility of the printed passes. What could be the most likely cause of the problem? A. Low ink levels. B. Paper jams. C. Dirty or clogged print head. D. Outdated firmware. The best choice is C, dirty or clogged print head. Thermal printers don't use ink. They print by applying heat to special thermal paper. Over time, the print head can become dirty or clogged, which can affect the quality of the printout. A, low ink levels are not applicable to thermal printers as they don't use ink. B, paper jams would cause the printer to stop printing altogether, not produce poor quality printouts. D, outdated firmware could cause a variety of issues, but it's less likely to be the cause of poor print quality compared to a dirty or clogged print head. (43) Imagine you're a technical support specialist at a tech company. One day, you receive a call from a customer who is having trouble with their standalone printer. The customer explains that they are trying to print large graphic files, but every time they attempt to do so, they receive an out-of-memory error message. As the technical support specialist, what would be your course of action to resolve this issue? A, upgrade the storage drive on the customer's computer. B, upgrade the RAM on the standalone printer. C, upgrade the RAM on the customer's computer. D, reinstall the printer drivers on the customer's computer. The best choice is B, upgrade the RAM on the standalone printer. Standalone printers have their own built-in memory, RAM, which is used to store print jobs and process them. When a printer is trying to print large files, especially graphics, it may run out of memory and display an out-of-memory error. Upgrading the printer's RAM can help resolve this issue. A, upgrading the storage drive on the customer's computer would increase storage capacity, but wouldn't directly affect the printer's ability to process large files. C, similarly, upgrading the RAM on the customer's computer would improve the computer's performance, but wouldn't directly affect the printer. D, reinstalling the printer drivers could resolve software-related issues, but an out-of-memory error is typically a hardware issue related to the printer itself. (44) A tech startup is designing a new data center architecture to improve network management and agility. They decide to implement software-defined networking, SDN, for dynamic and efficient network configuration. Which protocol, commonly associated with SDN, should they consider integrating into their design? A, HTTP, B, FTP, C, OpenFlow, D, TCP. The best choice is C, OpenFlow. OpenFlow is a protocol that is commonly associated with software-defined networking, SDN. It allows direct access to and manipulation of the forwarding plane of network devices such as switches and routers, both physical and virtual, hypervisor-based. A, HTTP Hypertext Transfer Protocol is a protocol used for transmitting hypertext requests and information between servers and browsers, not specifically for SDN. B, FTP File Transfer Protocol is used for transferring files between a client and server on a network, not specifically for SDN. D, TCP Transmission Control Protocol is one of the main protocols in the Internet Protocol Suite, used to send data reliably over the network, not specifically for SDN. 45. A network technician must trace the newly installed horizontal cabling running from a wiring closet to wall jacks distributed throughout an office. Which of the following tools would best identify cabling endpoints? A, multimeter. B, cable stripper. C, toner probe. D, loopback plug. The best choice is C, toner probe. A toner probe, also known as a fox and hound wire tracer, is a tool used to trace and identify cables or wires within a group without damaging the insulation. It's the best tool for identifying cabling endpoints in a network. A multimeter is used to measure electrical properties like voltage, current, and resistance, not for tracing cables. B, a cable stripper is used to remove insulation from electrical wires, not for tracing cables. D, A loopback plug is used for testing the network interface card, NIC, on a device, not for tracing cables. 46. A user reports that their laptop runs slowly even right after booting up. After troubleshooting, you determine that the hard drive is failing. You need to replace the hard drive. The laptop currently has a 2.5 inches SATA hard drive. Which of the following would be the best replacement drive? A. 2.5 inches hard drive, 5,400 revolutions per minute, SATA. B. 2.5 inches SSD, SATA drive. C. M2, SATA SSD drive. D. 3.5 inches hard drive, 7,200 revolutions per minute, SATA. The best choice is B, 2.5 inches SSD SATA drive. SSDs, solid-state drives, are much faster than traditional hard drives and can significantly improve the performance of a laptop. A 2.5 inches SSD SATA drive would be the best replacement as it would fit in the same space as the current 2.5 inches SATA hard drive and is compatible with the same SATA interface. A 2.5 inches hard drive, 5,400 revolutions per minute. SATA is slower than an SSD. C. An M2 SATA SSD drive might not fit in the laptop if it doesn't have an M2 slot. D. A 3.5 inches hard drive, 7,200 revolutions per minute. SATA is typically used in desktop computers and is likely too large to fit in a laptop. 47. A network administrator must run new Ethernet cabling between two wiring closets on separate floors of an office building. What is the maximum distance the cable can run using standard UTP? A. 30 meters, B. 50 meters, C. 100 meters, D. 125 meters. The best choice is C. 100 meters. The maximum distance that standard unshielded twisted pair UTP cables can cover, such as Cat5e, Cat6, Cat6a, and Cat7, is typically up to 100 meters or 328 feet. This length includes both the horizontal cable length between the device and the patch panel and the vertical cable length between floors or rooms. However, it's important to note that these maximum cable lengths are specified for direct cable runs, without any additional equipment in between. If you need to connect devices that are farther apart, you may need to consider using switches or other networking devices to extend the reach of your network. 48. An administrator needs to connect a new VoIP phone that supports only USB 2.0 to a desktop computer. What is the maximum data transfer rate between the phone and computer? A. 12 megabits per second, B. 480 megabits per second, C. 5 Gbps, D. 10 Gbps. The best choice is B. 480 megabits per second. USB 2.0 supports a maximum data transfer rate of 480 megabits per second, 1234. This is the maximum signaling rate, and it's shared amongst all attached devices. However, due to bus access constraints, the effective throughput of the high-speed signaling rate is limited to 35 MB per S or 280 Mbps. Therefore, when connecting a new VoIP phone that supports only USB 2.0 to a desktop computer, the maximum data transfer rate between the phone and computer would be 480 megabits per second. 49. A network technician needs to terminate multi-mode fiber optic cable in a patch panel. Which connector types are commonly used for this purpose? A. F-type and BNC, B. RJ11 and RJ45, CSC and LCD DisplayPort and DVI. The best choice is C, SC and LC SC, subscriber connector, and LC, Lucent connector. are two types of connectors commonly used for terminating fiber optic cables, including multi-mode fiber. They are designed to maintain stable and accurate connections in fiber optic communication systems. A, F-type and BNC connectors are typically used for coaxial cable, not fiber optic cable. B, RJ11 and RJ45 connectors are typically used for telephone and Ethernet cabling, respectively, not fiber optic cable. D, DisplayPort and DVI are types of video connectors, not fiber optic cable connectors. 50. An administrator needs to connect a computer and a printer located 25 feet apart. Which of the following solutions would work best for this situation? A, USB 2.0 cable. B, USB 3.0 cable with an active repeater. C, Thunderbolt 3 cable. D, HDMI cable. The best choice is B, USB 3.0 cable with an active repeater. The maximum length of a standard USB 2.0 cable is about 5 meters, or approximately 16 feet. A USB 3.0 cable with an active repeater can extend the reach beyond this limit, making it suitable for connecting devices that are 25 feet apart. A USB 2.0 cable would likely be too short for this distance. C, a Thunderbolt 3 cable has a maximum length of about 2 meters, or approximately 6.6 feet, without using additional equipment. D, an HDMI cable is typically used for audio and video signals, not for connecting a computer to a printer. Thank you for joining us in this CompTIA A Core 1 22011-01 exam prep series. We hope these practice questions have helped you deepen your understanding and prepared you for the actual exam. Remember, hands-on experience and understanding each concept thoroughly is the key to success. Keep practicing, stay curious, and don't hesitate to revisit these questions as many times as you need. Good luck with your studies, and we look forward to seeing you in our next video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more helpful content. Until next time.